Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video we're going to let the sanitary building be as it is, because you know what, it's functional and that was the goal, the main goal at this time. So we'll continue with that another day, and now we're going to continue with something that we already started some time ago and did not finish yet. Hola.
Hola.
And that's the vegetable garden. Now before we put things into the ground, we need to make sure that we have a good border around the vegetable garden, because we are planting the veggies for ourselves and not for the boars or the goats from the neighbor who tend to escape and really seem to be liking our vegetable garden to start grazing. So we've already started with the border a couple of weeks ago, but then life happened and we paused this project to continue again with the sanitary building. So we need to first get this installed. As I said, we've got a lot already installed, so it's the last pieces of the puzzle, and then we can start with the rest. Okay, so this side is mostly done previously, then we continued here, and this is where we stopped. And then on this side, we already have the poles in the ground, so all I have to do is fix the fence to it. Now this fence has small holes on the bottom and bigger holes at the top, so I need to make sure that this will be at the bottom and that will be at the top, of course. Now this fence is rated for boars, mooses, whatever. Not really sure if it will really keep them out. I do know that now that it's summer, we don't have that many boars here. They tend to go to the mountains or something. At least that's what I've heard. And we saw on the land that we have less carnage because of the boars. So for now, the main thing is to keep the goats out. So long story short, I'm going to do this kind of quick and dirty, and then later on in the year we'll try to get it more fixed, I guess, to get a final situation that also manages the boars a bit better. But now we just want to get that garden started, and of course I've got a lot of other things to do, so we're going to get this in as quickly as I can. While clearing the area, this vine just snapped off. It really felt like dead wood. But when I pulled it out, look at this. Remarkable, huh? These things are sturdy. then don't need that much to grow, right? Not sure what to do with this now. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. So beside our big trimmer, we got a small electrical trimmer that can fit our battery system that we have from Einhell to do smaller jobs like around trees or whatever, or small patches of grass. Pretty nice to, you know, plug in and start. Pretty handy tool for grass trimming and stuff like that. Not for the bigger stuff, that's just not really what it's meant for. But it's powerful enough for the task, and with just about $100 it's not really that expensive. There is something that I don't like about it, and that's the handle to turn it on and off. It's okay if you like trim for maybe 5 minutes or so, but if you trim for a long while, it's getting kind of hard on your hand to hold it. So I got a solution for that. I've just put a tie rip around it, but of course that's not the most safest thing to do if you have like an emergency stop. Right, now back to the fencing. So I got a bunch of old wires that I just pulled off of that concrete column, and I'll reuse those to fix the fence to the concrete columns. Alrighty, this side is done. I've continued here until the wall is high and steep enough, so I hope that will form a natural barrier for the boars and goats and stuff. If they cannot jump up, hopefully they also won't jump down, because otherwise they're trapped in the garden. So we have an opening here. We're gonna temporarily close that off with this, because in phase 1 we just want everything boarded up. And then later on, I'll probably make some kind of door, double door, whatever here, so it's easily accessible. That should do the trick. Right, now this area is completely closed up until about here. And then we have the natural border over here of the wall. And then we have to close off this area and this area. And there we have the corrugated sheet. That's where we stopped with the fencing the last time. So we need to continue this last part. Oh, by the way, the last time we did the fencing, I did it with a friend. Thanks very much for helping out. Now let's get this part in quickly. There we go. All the fencing is done. 2 out of 3 entrances have been covered. And those are the 2 entrances that we only use occasionally. This one, if you want to access the area with a car or with a trailer. And the other one, if we want to access the area with, for instance, a grass mower or a little bit smaller equipment, but big enough to need a bigger opening. And the last one, that's the one for daily usage. So I need to come up with something else than this for there, because you know, this works, but it's not really something to use on a daily basis. Now this is our main entrance. We have the wall here, we have a column there, there's where the fencing stops, so this is the gap that we need to fill. Now you usually come down this path over here, like this, so we need some kind of door here, and then we need to close this off, but I don't know, let's see what we can find. So the opening is 2.5 paces wide. We have this pallet from the solar boiler. 1, 2. Too short. It's too short, but maybe I can MacGyver something. So we walked into an issue. An issue that we already knew there was there, but it just made it clear even more when I put the pallets there. Let me show you. So here we have the entrance of our vegetable garden. Here we have a column, and here we have a column, and then we can go downwards, and here you can already see the issue, and here's where the fence should be. Now we have this unit of a plant, and it's in the way, because without this plant we could have a pallet there, have a door in the center, and then have a pallet there. So we're gonna cut it, then we're gonna dig it, and hope with some magical fingers of my wife, Sylvia, that the plant will survive. There we go. I gotta be honest, I don't think this thing will survive, but we are giving it a chance. Now back to the gate. party! We've got ourselves a door. And with this door, the whole area is fenced up and safe for our veggies. So now we've got to get something in the ground. But before we do that, we need to do something with the grass. So this might be a good time to show you guys our lawnmower. We've got about 1.2 hectares of land. So that's pretty big. And about half of it we have to mow. And needless to say that a big sitting mower would be the best way to go, or even some kind of tractor with something behind it. But that's crazy expensive. A sitting mower starts at like 3,000–4,000 euros. So that's just a lot of money to invest at once. So then we saw this thing. It costs us short of 400 euros. It has a Honda motor. And we just thought, well, let's just see what this can do before we make a huge investment. And so far it's going pretty well, but we did do some modifications. Let me show you. So normally at the back you have a sack to collect the grass. Well, if we mow the grass here, then we can do like 20 meters and then the sack is full. So that didn't really work. And then if you remove the sack, you have this lid that closes it up. Then you have an attachment that you can put here so that the grass diverts this way. But this opening is just too small to handle the grass, so it gets stuck and then you have to stop again. So what we did is we just put a stick at the back of the lid. But then we had another problem, because then there's a crazy flow of grass directed right at where you're standing normally. So then we attached some cloth, and that's doing a very, very good job to protect us. Now, is this really the solution for a piece of ground the size of ours? Well, it's kind of a lot of work, and I'm sure it's going easier with a sitting mower, but this is just quite more easy for our wallet. And you know, you can only spend your money once, so maybe in the future there will be a bigger one, but you know, for now it is working for us. And you know what's also neat of a device like this compared to any other sitting mower, tractor, whatever, is that if the grass is really tall, you could just do a wheelie over it and it'll cut the grass. And then a day or two later, when all the grass is standing upwards again, you can do it again without the wheelie, and then it's nicely cut down. You can't really do that with a sitting mower, can you? Would be kind of cool, you know? A wheelie on a sitting mower. Ha! So now we've got this area to cut. We already did that 2 weeks ago, but with the rain we had and now the intense sunshine, everything grows like crazy. So it was ankle height 2 weeks ago, and now it's already waist high at some places. Pretty insane, huh? I think between yesterday and today, some parts grow like 10 centimeters. Holy smokes. All right, let's get cutting. Alright, now we have a nice clean green sheet of terrain that we can implement. Now, we don't know a lot about a vegetable garden. It's the first time that we're making one, but we do know that you can't really plant the plants in the grass like this, so we need to get rid of some of the grass. And that we're going to do with this. We're going to turn around all the ground, or at least where we want to plant. So for a starting homestead vegetable grower, it's kind of overwhelming what you can do and what you cannot do. There's so many sides to vegetable gardens, till, no till, a lot of do's and don'ts. And to be honest, we don't really know what to do anymore. So we're just starting from scratch and think of, okay, what can we do at this time? And then we'll just see how it goes. So let's start tilling. I thought that would be easier. Boy, was I wrong. This is going to take a while. So we've got a pile of manure, sheep manure, beneath this tarp. It's been laying here for about 2-3 months. So I think this will be okay to put into the ground to enrich it. So we're going to put that in and then till it again. So besides sheep manure, we're also adding compost of our own compost pile. It's not fully composted yet, but at least it's material. And if it's not good for the plants, then it might be good for all the other organisms that live in the ground. And at least it looks nice and black. So we've got 2 types of mulch that we're gonna use. First we have some hay that we tried to dry here. It's hay from our own land, of course. And then we have a pile of wood chips. Also wood chips from our own land. So we need some trellises as well for the vegetable garden. Luckily, we have our own eucalyptus forest. We've harvested quite some trees already in the past for other trellises and stuff that we made. So the beginning of our forest is looking nice and open. But if we go further back, it gets pretty dense. So harvesting this for the trellises is kind of a win-win. It thins out the forest, so there's more room for the trees to grow, and we have some trellises material, so we don't have to buy anything for it. fencing off the area started as a measure to keep the animals out. But after finalizing this, we realized it was even more about giving a neglected patch of grassland a new function, a new destination. As putting a frame around a painting, we've now created a blank sheet of canvas that we can slowly fill in over the years, creating our own food factory, step by step, starting with our first bed of vegetables. This feels like we've finally made our first steps in a new journey, a journey that will come with ups and downs, victories and failures, a journey to a more self-sufficient way of life.